sometimes you're thinking to yourself, like, I have to be crazy, like, to keep doing this. Like, I'm either crazy.
All the time.
I'm crazy, I love it, or, whatever. But again, then you have those moments right there, and it's like, it doesn't matter what the bank account is saying, what the invoice is, anything. Like, all that stuff just gets shut off in that moment when, again, somebody's like, I saw your message, and I realized I did wake up and I did one, and that made me want to wake up, one more day. And that stuff it's powerful. It's powerful, and it keeps me going, and it makes me feel almost as though like I have a response. I don't even want to say a responsibility, but I'm just blessed to be able to do that, and it's like then I have to be my most authentic self, and like I have to keep pushing, because it's not only just for me, but hopefully for all those around me, and that I'm able to impact in a way.
We are back. Myersmadeit. Nick Myers. If you woke up, you won. What's going on, Nick? How are you?
I'm doing very well. Happy to be here. Appreciate you guys for having me out.
What's up, Nick?
Look forward to chatting. This is my first time in this new space, so it's very cool to see what you guys have done with it. Like I said, I feel cozy. I feel all official, professional. We got the microphones, the headphones. It sounds good. So yeah, it's cool. I'm living, man. Happy to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, man.
We're happy to have you.
Yeah. Let's just dive right into it. I guess for like people watching who may not, if they don't know who you are, kind of your story, let's start there.
Absolutely.
What is it?
So, well, again, I am Nick Myers, a.k.a. Myersmadeit. I'm born and raised in Westchester. I am a local. I've been around here pretty much my whole life. Like we were kind of talking about earlier, it's been cool, interesting to see the changes, the growth, just in the area, and also just in the culture and the community. My focus kind of recently has been on the arts, painting, visual arts. I have been given the opportunity to have a studio/gallery space in Westchester, so that's kind of been my focus as of late, and that's just kind of where I've been at. As far as getting into my kind of the art start and everything with that, kind of been doing that for, like I said, about 3 years now. And it's been an awesome journey, just the people that I've been able to meet, the things that I've been able to learn about myself, about just humans and about life. It's been really cool. It's been cool. I've enjoyed it a lot.
Sure. Is that something like you kind of always knew you wanted to get into, like something with creativity? Like you're a creative guy.
I appreciate that. And I think I kind of joke and I look back at even like my notes in middle school and high school, and all in the margins, it's a lot of doodles, it's a lot of drawing. The fronts of my folders, in elementary school and stuff like that, I was always the one that was, again, drawing on it, kind of trying to make it my own. I think with the clothes that I wear has always been a creative kind of representation of who I am. Music has kind of been like my first love, so that's another creative aspect. And for me, a big part of it is, like, growing up, I'm an only child, so for me, creativity, again, whether it be music or, building blocks or whatever the case may be, has always been something that I've been able to kind of, one, not only just pass the time with, but like that entertain myself, again, find myself with it. When you're an only child, like sometimes you don't have anybody to play with but yourself, but I can listen to music, make music, you can draw, you can do all those things. So it's always been a great kind of outlet for me, I think, as well as it's like my journal, I think. All of my different creative endeavors it's a journal in a different way. It's a way for me to express myself, to get my thoughts out, my feelings, my emotions. And I think that's why I have an interest in so many different mediums. Because if you were to kind of look at your journal, it would be different every day. You're not going to write the same journal entry over and over and over. So when it comes to expressing myself, I think it's very similar in that kind of respect.
This episode is brought to you by Eagle Eye Ticket Management, where honest pricing meets exceptional service, no hidden fees, no surprises, just straightforward ticket prices that don't change at checkout. Plus, mention Talk of the Town for an exclusive 10% discount off your next purchase. Visit them today. Experience ticket buying the way it should be.
What's your focus now as far as like art?
So I kind of have two two main things right now. The painting, and my kind of main mediums with that is the acrylics, spray paint. I do a lot of kind of abstract, sort of pop art, street art. It's very, I like to think it's wild, it's free, it's very raw, and that's kind of who I am as a person, so I think it comes out in the art. And then the second, and again, like I said, my first love has always been music. And recently I've really been kind of diving into learning how to DJ, and just curating records and sounds and being able to put together mixes. And I think for me, that's so much a way to serve people with the music, because I look forward to being able to play events and play sets and provide, a certain energy and a certain vibe for the room in that aspect. So that's really where I've been at. I've been on a weekly mix release. So starting in the beginning of the year, I've been trying to put out a 30-minute mix every Monday. And for me, that's just been a great way to stay consistent, get over kind of fears, because that can often be a roadblock. And I know for myself, like kind of perfection can be a hindrance. And I used to try and it would be an excuse, and I can't do that because, well, it's not right yet and it's not perfect yet. And I'll start when I, know I can or whatever. And that would eventually just lead me to never start or do anything. So this has just been a way for me to just put it out there. There's mistakes in it. I don't re-record anything. I don't edit it. I just try and, let it rock. And now we're at 8 mixes, into the year. And I've been able to see the improvement, within myself. So again, that's one of those research and development things. Just do it, let it rock, see, kind of the growth and what's going to come behind it. So yeah, that's been a cool kind of challenge, like I said, for myself, and just a way to stay consistent in that realm.
Do you have any does anyone inspire you to do this? Like how'd you come up with either, I guess, both pieces, the painting and the music?
So I think I'm inspired by just the people in my life. And there's a lot of inspiration, I think, for sure, in media. There's celebrities. I'm definitely, a fan of certain artists, but to be honest, like my inspiration just comes from like the people in my own life, and the friends that I have and the people in our community. Like I said, this being in this space, is an example of something that inspires me. Seeing you guys, you're somebody that I see in real life. It's you can look on social media and again, kind of fawn over all these superstars or idols and everything, but I got superstars that I'm sitting across from right now. My buddy Ty over at the Fitness Factory, seeing the things that he's able to do and just how he pursues his dreams. Like those are the things that honestly inspires me, and I'm very fortunate and I'm very grateful to have people that are willing to help. They're willing to teach. They're willing to uplift, because even again the DJing journey, I've been going to shows and I've been able to make friends that are in that world. They're way better than me. They have so much more knowledge than me. And they reach out. They give me tips. They're like, yo, do you need to know, what can I help you with? So again, that inspiration, like, sure, I could list, some famous people that, I like and that I listen to, but realistically, it's just the people, around me in my immediate life, and again, in my community. The growth in Westchester has been an inspiration for me, because again, I grew up here. I, went to elementary school, high school, middle school, and it's always a little bit different when you're from an area, you've been there your whole life. You have a different perspective and point of view, but I can say that while I didn't maybe always love it the way I do now, seeing kind of some of the changes, the growth, there's, art galleries and different, music pop-ups and venues and, just different creatives that are coming together and collaborating and making it where on any given night there's, cool stuff going on in town, or there's, places where you can network with like-minded people. So it's cool. It's really cool. And again, I think there's inspiration everywhere. There's inspiration all around us, and it's just, it's how you choose to kind of look at things, I think.
No, I love that. Just curious too, like, do you have any stories where like a realization where you're like, damn, I'm doing the right thing. Like, this is what I'm meant to be doing.
So, yes, and it's kind of, I would say there's a couple different ones, and right, art right now for me is a vessel for the message. And you see, I have it on, right here, the Woke Up You Won. I say it all the time. And to give a quick backstory, like that came from a time where waking up didn't seem like a win, and just I had felt like I had lost everything in my life, but my life, and I needed a win on the scoreboard, and waking up was the only one that I could think of. So cool though, we've got one win. And then I just stack from there and trying every little thing I can be grateful for is just another win on the scoreboard. Going into the art and everything ended up being a great way for me to spread that message. And I remember it was kind of one of my first like solo big art shows, and it was a collaboration at the Coach store. Again, like talking about inspiration and people in my life. My buddy works there as a manager there, able to kind of bring me in and not even just a cosign, but bring my name to the table. And then these people are like, oh no, this guy like does some really cool stuff. Yeah, let's do it. So we had that show, and there was a lady that came, and mind you, I had never done any like custom bags or painted on anything like that, but lady had come and she hadn't like left her house in like 6 months, and for whatever reason she had gotten like the email for this show, and she decided that day she was just gonna come and like check it out, and there I was with my Woke Up You Won, and just like that connection that we were able to have. And there's a lot of examples of those, but that's one that always sticks in my head. Matter of fact, I was in Coach a couple weeks ago and she was in there, which one was awesome because I'm like, she's still coming outside now, you know what I mean? Where again, up to that point, she was just like, I had so much stuff going on in my life, blah, blah, blah. So to land in those positions and in that time and in that space and, meet her and have that connection, it's like, yeah, it definitely tells me that, okay, cool, I think you're meant to be here, and I think this is what you're meant to be doing. Because that truly, for me, that's the best part about it, and that's what makes it so special, is that the human connection. And being able to hopefully inspire and motivate people. So, yeah, I think that anytime I'm able to have, like I said, those types of moments and interactions, I know, like, just keep going. Just keep going. Because sometimes, and I'm sure, you can relate as an entrepreneur, sometimes you're thinking to yourself, like, I have to be crazy, like, to keep doing this. Like, I'm either crazy.
All the time.
I'm crazy, I love it, or, whatever. But, again, then you have those moments right there, and it's like, it doesn't matter what the bank account is saying, what the invoice is, anything. Like, all that stuff just gets shut off in that moment when, again, somebody's like, I saw your message, and I realized I did wake up and I did one, and that made me want to wake up, one more day. And that stuff it's powerful. It's powerful, and it keeps me going, and it makes me feel almost as though like I have a response. I don't even want to say a responsibility, but I'm just blessed to be able to do that, and it's like then I have to be my most authentic self, and like I have to keep pushing. Because it's not only just for me, but hopefully for all those around me, and that I'm able to impact in a way.
Not 100%. That was powerful right there. And
I love that tagline. It's great.
Life is pretty powerful, man, and it's cool. There's so much just really cool stuff all around us, and again, I try and I think there's magic in everything if you choose to see it. If you want to look for the negative in things, you can find it. If you want to look for the positive in things, you can find it. So I just try and look for the magic in life, look for the positive, look for, what we can do that help us grow and help us stay, happy and at a peace of mind.
Sure. And I guess, where do you see the message, the brand evolving as you evolve?
So I guess I'll go into kind of where I am, and my next step is, I guess, kind of as a business venture, creative venture, community venture. As you guys know, they may not know, we have, again, a studio/gallery space called The Vault. And we really want to, right, as of now, it's been like my playground. And I think people have kind of seen it as that, and they're like, okay, it's cool. We see Nick, he's there, he paints there, he does his work there. He's been able to do shows. But I think one, right, like I paint there. We've had an art show there. We've ran a book club out of there. We have had some other like networking groups that have come in and used the space. So we're kind of seeing how it can be used for our whole community. And I think that's a way where, again, not only does the message spread, but just kind of the energy and I think kind of the mindset that we're trying to put out and the events and just space that we're trying to create, we're going to be able to share that with other people. So again, whether it be hosting more group shows where, again, it's not just my art. You know, I want to invite local artists in and be able to kind of curate shows and give other people who maybe have never had a chance to showcase their artwork a space to do that. Again, with people, they don't want to go out to the bars on a Friday night, but they would like to get a group of their friends together and do a trivia in the vault or something like that. We want to be able to rent that space out. And whether we are kind of hosting events or we're allowing others just to come and use this space to, you know, host their own events, that's something that, again, we're really excited about. And that community is, like, very big in everything that we do. I work at the Fitness Factory, and one of, you know, Ty's very just, like, main goals is just community. You know, and an example that he always uses is, like, you can go to, like, a barbershop or whatever, and they can have all the fancy stuff, but if they don't make you feel welcome and they don't do the job right, like, you don't want to come back. So it's really those kind of some like intangible things, and again, in building up the community, because I think something that, like, my grandfather would always say to my dad, and he always said to me, is like, if I can, I will. And just kind of the sentiment of that is, you know, if there's something that I've learned and I can teach to somebody else, whether it be somebody younger than me or just, you know, one of my peers or whatever, that's something that we want to do. So again, by inviting people into the space and just encouraging them to do things. Like I said, there's a kid out there that's probably never had, you know, his work in an art show or anything like that. And if I can encourage him to throw his first solo show in the vault, like, you know, that's a win. You know, that's a win for us. So.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do you feel like COVID and just like the shutdowns of everything kind of like, you talk about like community, like I feel like everyone's kind of been by themselves and there was this sense of like there wasn't community, and then like now I feel like it's starting to kind of make its way back to like more events I'm seeing now.
Absolutely.
And like that whole scene kind of coming back.
I do. I think that people kind of crave that and they yearn for that. And we got, like, technology is great. And, you know, we were able to do so much on our phones. People were able to still, like, work through Zoom and be able to do all these things. But at a certain point, it was like, I haven't physically seen a person, or I haven't hung out with the person. Like, these Zoom meetings only take me so far. You know, I can only, talking on the phone only feel so intimate, you know, to a certain point. So, yeah, after being separated that long and, you know, you're kind of going like stir crazy, and a lot of it that is missing is that community aspect. I think, too, in hard times, we are reminded of what is important and what truly matters. And I think if there's a positive takeaway that you can, you know, take out of that whole time, it's like, okay, what matters is our health and the people that we love, we care about, and again, like that immediate community, and that human connection, and that's the key to life, is human connection. You know, you see babies, they just want to play, they want to talk to each other, they don't care what you look like, anything, they just want to have fun, they want to and just connect. So that's something that I try to be more childlike sometimes too, you know, and go back to that connection. But I definitely do. I think, again, there was obviously a lot of, you know, negatives and a lot of horrific things that happened during that time period, but a big positive was that it reminded people the importance of community, like you said, for sure.
Yeah. What's like the Westchester art scene look like? Can you tell us a little bit about that? If, you know, the outsiders kind of, you know, we don't know what's going on. Like, So
Westchester art scene is in a really cool place, and I think there's been art in Westchester for a long time, but right now it's just it's fun. It's a diverse crew. It's a diverse crowd. There's a bunch of different galleries that showcase all different types of artwork. One of the galleries that I've kind of worked with, a couple of my buddies, they're over at The Corner. That's a new gallery in the area, and they do a lot of pop-up group shows for, again, community members. They're pretty much do like open submissions, kind of first come, first serve type of thing. And those events have been really, really cool. They've been cool to see where, again, you have people of all different levels, different backgrounds, different ranges. So they host like monthly shows there. And just, again, the community aspect. There's a lot of different groups who do sketch clubs, or they meet and, they do different like painting nights. So it's growing. It's growing and it's growing. And it's kind of a new wave, and I don't want to knock the old wave or anything, but it's just kind of the younger crowd is now coming up, and it's kind of like their turn and their time. And the people that have been there before them are supportive and helping kind of build that growth. So yeah, the Westchester art scene is alive and well. I know that the Look Around Festival, they're getting ready to go on, I think, their 4th year. So that's kind of been an up-and-coming music and art festival in the area.
Yeah, one's getting big.
Yeah.
Seems like every year.
Every year. Which, again, that kind of, I think, shows, like, that's something that we didn't really have, prior.
Yeah, maybe like the Turk's Head Festival. It's like the only one.
That's really about it.
That one's got roots too. Like, hasn't that been around for
I think they just did
like
their 50 years. Yeah. So absolutely, like you said, they have that one that has the roots. People, they know about that. They expect that. So yeah, for there to be kind of another one and a new one, and for them to be able to coexist, that would be the idea. I think it would be cool if we could have a festival every weekend in Westchester.
That would be sweet.
That would be cool.
That would be sweet. And that's something that we. Right, again, growing up here, I can have whatever thoughts I want, but if I want a community or you want a culture to be a certain way, you have to create that, and you have to curate it. So if I want Westchester to have more art shows, then, we're going to have to throw more art shows at the Vault. If I want,
somebody's got to step up and help.
Somebody's got to step up and do it. We have a really cool rooftop space over at the Vault that we're really excited to be able to open up in the summer. Snowing right now, but when that warm weather comes, to get local music artists, again, whether, we have acoustic jams up there or different, bands or whatever, and just, again, bring fun stuff that makes people feel good. Stuff that makes people feel good, that makes people happy.
If you wanted to, like, get involved in all this, and maybe you're, like, sitting on the sidelines and you're like, man, I wish I was, getting in the Vault or whatever, like, how do people reach out?
So they can reach out to me at Myersmadeit on Instagram. You can send me an email at wokeup1@myersmadeit.com. We actually just this week are kind of getting the ball rolling on getting a Vault website up and running, getting an email up and running for that. So we will have, kind of details for that coming soon. But reach out. Do not be shy. We want to work. We want to collaborate. We want to grow. We want to grow, and we want to grow with others. Again, it's no fun to just play by yourself. It's no fun to play by yourself all the time. So
it's like, how do we get those people that are shy or hiding? Yeah. How do we get them out and meet? You said community, like
exactly.
Add to the bunch.
Add it to the bunch. So yeah, please do. Like I said, reach out or even come by. We're above the Fitness Factory. We're on 810 East Market Street. So yeah, stop in. We definitely said we want to grow that. We want to bring people in and just do cool stuff. We want to do cool stuff. Do cool stuff with cool people.
Oh yeah, and if you haven't been to the Vault yet, I went to your show.
Yes,
pretty recently, and it was a great time. I mean, your artwork's incredible.
I appreciate that.
Do you guys have any more events coming up soon?
So right now we don't have anything scheduled coming up, but the ball is rolling. There will definitely be some announcements soon, and when we do have all those details coming out, we'll be blasting that. Like I said, we'll have that on my Instagram page. We'll have that on the Vault page. And yeah.
Sure.
As far as like the painting stuff, I know we talked about a lot about like the music.
Yes, sir.
Like, how'd you get started with that whole
So I
aspect of your
YouTube University.
Oh, wow.
And that was really, again, kind of during COVID, and I'm at home and just kind of thinking of different ways that I can, again, I need like an outlet and a way to express myself. And I kind of came across acrylic pour painting. So I don't know if you're familiar with that at all, but it's a very fluid type of art. You're pouring paints, mixing them, kind of letting gravity and, do its thing. And that was, like, it was awesome. I really enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun doing it. I was able to learn. It was something that, like, very quickly I found that I kind of had a passion for, because I was just, that's all I would do then. Like, I was just painting and painting. And then I just realized that I wanted to, like, expand that, and I wanted to try new things. I didn't go to school for art. I don't, have any, like, classical training or anything like that. But I just would practice. And I would just practice, and I would just try stuff, and just over and over. And, again, I always say that the art is really, it teaches me so much about life, because I would have to learn how to paint, and instead of painting for a certain outcome, paint for the process, and paint to learn, and paint for the journey, and know that at the end, like, I may not love it, and that's okay. Like, again, what were we able to learn from it? What research and development, happened along the way? So yeah, got into the pour paintings, was kind of trying different things, and started posting them online, and people started reaching out and asking, if they could purchase them. And at the time, again, I had never really thought about it that way, but I was also very happy, like, okay, cool, this obviously, not only is it bringing me joy, but this means that it's bringing other people joy too, if they want to put it in their house, in their spaces. And then, again, the music kind of came in where at that point I wasn't making or anything, but I was a fan of it. So I was going to a lot of house music shows. I was meeting a lot of event promoters, a lot of DJs, just kind of making friends in that scene. So fast forward, I'm making art and everything, and now these people are doing shows and they're having events, and they're like, yo, why don't you come and you bring your art out? So then again, that's something where that's, motivating and inspiring, and I'm like, okay, cool, wow, like, I'm just here in my mom's basement, just like, making art or whatever, and now, again, people want me to bring it out here and want you to do this. So I just kind of started running with it, and, I was still working a full-time job, but just doing that as much as I could. There was a point that I quit my job, and I was doing that like full time for a little while, and I realized like I wasn't quite there yet, which was humbling. But I also, that was another one of those moments where I think I knew like this is it and this is what I wanted to do, because I didn't even mind having to go back and getting a job. It didn't really matter what I needed to do. I just needed to do whatever I could so I could keep doing this. So it was cool. At different, work side jobs and this, that, and the third, and it's all then brought me back to now where it's cool. I get to work part-time at the gym, and I love that. Again, if you haven't checked out Fitness Factory, come through, see us, check us out, see the space. The community that we've built there, that's something that I get up at 4 a.m. and it's not a chore, because I know I get to go and I get to serve that community and I get to see those people. And not only do I show up for them, but like they show up for themselves. So that's something that's just motivating. So I'm able to do that. And then again, I have my studio and gallery upstairs. So being in a space right now where I'm able to kind of marry the two and continue to grow the art business, because that ultimately would be, that is the goal, to just be able to do that full time and that be, the career. It's intertwined with the whatever other creative, endeavors that I'm into at the time.
It might lead to something else too.
Absolutely, and I've tried to keep an open mind with that, and I think sometimes maybe the path is unconventional, but if I were to write the script of my life, it wouldn't have been nearly as cool as the one that's already been like written for me. And again, the things that I expect to happen usually don't, but what does happen is 10 times cooler, So I'm totally right there with you. Hopefully just lead to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing, and just kind of continue to follow the path and just remain grateful, along the way.
Totally. And I guess, how do you spark creativity? I know there's got to be some times where you're just like, might not be feeling it today. How do you ignite that?
So a big part of it is living life. And when I get to those points where I have no inspiration, I often know that I need to go and live life outside of the studio. Inspiration, again, it comes from the people that I meet. It comes from the experiences that I have, the places that I go. Sometimes it comes through bad experiences, and those sometimes I have no control over. So sometimes you get a whole lot of inspiration when you didn't ask for it, you didn't want it, but now we've got some stuff to paint about, and we got some stuff to get off of our chest. But really, when I lose that inspiration again, it's just to tap back into the things that I love outside of that, and the people that I love outside of that. Sometimes if I have nothing on my mind, like maybe I need to go and I need to call my dad, dude. Go spend some time with him or something like that. Or I need to go out and listen to some house music for a night. Like, instead of just staring at the blank canvas, like live, and go and have some life experiences. And that always brings me back to being able to, again, put some stuff on the canvas, because like I was saying earlier, how it's my journal. So in order for you to have journal entries, if you just sat at home all day, like you wouldn't have a whole lot to write about on your journal. But again, by having real life experiences and interactions, then you have something to come back and kind of write in the journal about.
Yeah,
Totally.
that makes complete sense.
Yeah.
You didn't even think about that.
Yeah. I mean, into just now, and I'm like, dang. Yeah. Like, that really is kind of, that's really it.
I feel like even myself, like I'm not feeling right. Just go for like a walk,
Yeah.
Opens up the brain, starts the blood flowing.
Yep. And it's Erykah Badu. She has like an interview, and she talks about it a lot. And she's just, people are like, why aren't you in the studio? You need to just be in the studio. And she's like, again, like the music doesn't come from sitting in the studio. The music comes from me living my life and then coming into the studio and having a story to tell. And like I said, that story isn't often created in the studio. That's just where we transfer it, onto paper, or you transfer it onto a recording,
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah,
And
that's so true.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we could kind of close with this question I got here, but if there's, whether it's former you, like you're a younger self, or, kid out there, somebody younger, maybe they're creative, they don't really know what they want to do, what advice would you give that person?
I would tell them to be themselves 100% authentically. I would tell them to follow their gut, to listen to their intuition. I would tell them to not be afraid to fail, that they're going to stumble along the way, that they're going to make mistakes, that sometimes they're going to make bad choices. Try to limit the shame, and by limiting the shame, kind of increase the learning, and just keep going. Just keep going. There's nothing that you can fail at if you just don't quit. So yeah, be yourself, don't quit, and stay grateful. Stay grateful no matter what, because that for me is the number one catalyst for just moving and keep going. Is just remain grateful for all the experiences that you have, all the lessons. So yeah, that's what I would say to my younger self, and to anybody trying to do anything in life, no matter what kind of medium or endeavor it may be.
Awesome. And if you woke up, you won.
And if you woke up, you won. Keep stacking wins.
I love it. Stacking 'em.
Keep stacking them and stacking them and stacking them.
Awesome.
Sweet. No, thanks for coming, bro.
Thank you guys so much. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, again, you guys have a great space here, so it's a pleasure to grace the space. And
We'll have to check out the vault too.
Yeah,
absolutely, man. Yes. And please do come on by, check out the vault, check out the Fitness Factory, check us out on Instagram, Myersmadeit.com. And yeah, if you woke up, you won.
You woke up, you won, people.
Thank you guys very much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Deuces.